So, there's some stuff to go over this is concerned. Some of it's about Caitlin Bennett, some of it directly involves her, some of it doesn't. For those who don't know the controversy going on with Lil Nas right now, apparently Christians are really, really angry about this, and they're not amused at a bunch of the stuff that he's been posting on Twitter and the Nike advertisements with like satanic shoes and all kinds of stuff. Basically, you know the old marketing technique that I mentioned during the Geeks and Gamers video, where you just piss off conservatives because you know they'll scream so loud that it's free advertising? Apparently that's been happening. But let's go ahead and look at this article from the Gateway Pundit. They have things like pro-Trump news. They have things like Lil Nas is evil, and you know, so we're gonna get some unbiased, really, really well-researched deductive journalism here. This is by Cassandra Fairbanks, who Caitlin Bennett has been retweeting a crap ton recently. So let's go ahead and see what they say in this particular article. Why? Oh my God, this is formatted so poorly. Why is this formatted so poorly? Oh, it's advertisements. Oh, ads are oh my God. I had my ad blocker on for a second and they gave me a warning about like how I shouldn't have ad blocker on. I see why they needed the ad blocker. Jesus Christ. They must make 100 videos per they must make $100 per person who visits this area just based off of the like pennies they make off of every one of these 10,000 advertisements on their page. Okay. So the title of this, as best I can read it, is Satanic rapper Lil Nas says he might rape gun girl Caitlin Bennett's father during Twitter spat. Now, here's the thing. This is a change in the article's name, because if you look at the original here that is posted and cached by Twitter, it is Satanic rapper Lil Nas has threatens to rape gun girl Bennett's father. Now, first of all, the funny thing here is the typo. Has threatens. Or Lil Nas threatens. Never mind. Lil Nas threatens to. That's not a typo. I just can't read. It turns out I'm incapable of doing my job. So, now that I've proven that I am just as inept as Cassandra Fairbanks and Caitlin Bennett combined, let's go ahead and continue on even footing. So they've obviously had to change the title. Now, why would they change the title before we even get into the article itself? Well, there's this lovely thing called libel. There's a difference between he might threaten and he has threatened. And the difference between these two should be pretty obvious for anybody watching, okay? Should be very, very obvious. This is self-protection at its finest. Let's go ahead and take a look and see what is said in the article. Jesus Christ. So, he might rape gun girl Caitlin Bennett's father during Twitter spat. He might. Now let's see if we can actually find the words rape anywhere in here. So, in this, it's weeks like this that I'm thankful to be blocked by Lil Nas X. Okay, so she's blocked by Lil Nas, which is, you know, neat, I guess. The exchange began when Bennett tweeted that she was happy to be blocked by the rapper who made headlines this week for satanic sneakers containing human blood and a music video in which he gives Satan a lap dance. Satanic sneakers containing human blood. Now, I heard about this, but I didn't know if they actually did. So let's see here. Lil Nas releases Nike shoe dedicated to Satan with a pentagram and human blood in it. Let's see here. Where does it say human blood is in these, though? Satan shoe contains 60cc ink and 1 drop of human blood. So it's literally just a single drop of human blood for the giggles. This is pure marketing. This is pure marketing. Like, yeah, okay, so the single drop of human blood, but like diluted with so much water that it doesn't even matter anymore. It's just marketing, dude. These morons want a capitalistic free market, but then when shit like this happens, suddenly they want to cancel everything. Like, dude, shoes with human blood in them, that's just funny. They know they know what they're doing. They are marketing against, they're marketing utilizing the incredibly loud voices of the people who never left the Satanic Panic. And if you want to hear some of those old school voices, then please go ahead and check out the video that me and Prophet of Zod did about a week and a half ago about how Pokemon is satanic. So let's go ahead and continue the article itself. Things escalated quickly from there after the block, where Lil Nas tweeted, "I see your tweets, shitty pants," and Renita-chan has actually made certain that we have that tweet available here for viewing. If I can just open that one real quick. There we go. I see your tweets, shitty pants. She will never be able to live down the crapping in her pants debacle. It's something that she will never be able to escape. See here, referring to an internet meme in which feminists on the left have spread a photo of a half-naked girl that had an accident and claimed that it's Kaitlin Bennett. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and say right now, they have feminists in quotation marks here on the website. I'm gonna go ahead and say this right now. Feminists do not have to support all women. They don't. They have to support egalitarianism. That's where it ends. Egalitarianism for the different genders. Now, if you have somebody like Kaitlin Bennett, who is a raging anti-feminist, then it makes sense that you would go, hey, no, this person's probably an enemy to our cause. We're going to meme her. That makes perfect sense to me. That's not a contradiction with feminism. Being a female does not suddenly make you have this magical shield where feminists will not go after you anymore. It doesn't work like that. But people like Kaitlin Bennett do believe that, you know, allegedly there are some genetic predispositions that might make her a little bit better or worse than other people. That's just, it's Nazi shit. Let's continue. You read that correctly. The same group that claims to defend and believe women has used revenge porn of some unknown girl passed out at a party to shame Bennett for her politics. Well, here's the thing. Look, that's not necessarily revenge porn. If you post a picture of somebody who is in a bikini, they're technically half naked, but that's not revenge porn. Okay? And again, you can defend women's rights and still go after somebody who happens to be a woman. Said not one to back down from a fight. Bennett fired back saying, "The guy that takes it up the ass from Satan wants to talk about shitty pants." So we should probably go into why this matters. If you remember from the gay conversion therapy episode that I did recently, there is a giant misconception that apparently when you have anal sex, it will necessarily lead to there being shit all over your dick and all this other fun stuff. Okay, so let me go ahead and clear the air here. We're going to move away from PG-13 territory for just a moment here. If you clean up before having sex, this ceases being a problem. But conservatives don't think about that because despite how often they think about anal sex, they don't seem to think about the mechanics behind it very much. But that's okay. Far be it from me to take any of these people seriously and think that they've thought these things through very well. Said Bennett, following up by asking the rapper if he still sees his dad. Now, why would this be a tweet? Well, Lil Nas is black, so it makes sense that the very first thing she would go for is a, "Have you seen your dad?" You know, bit of racism there. Remember, Kaitlin Bennett's not racist, but he's perfectly fine engaging in that rhetoric if it appeals for her audience, and it does. So, then we get the vile rapper. Okay, so let's just go and say right now, it's not vile to make fun of the way people engage in sex. It's not vile to make fun of trauma related to having or not having a parent around as you're growing up. Those are not vile, but you know what is vile? saying that he might fuck your dad. So I'm going to say this right now. Okay, listen here. All of you pussies, absolute pussies, who look at this and think this is the end of the world, most horrible thing ever. Kaitlin Bennett stumbles on this video and suddenly, oh my god, this is the worst thing. None of you, not a single one of you, would have survived on Xbox Live. Not one of you. Every single one of you would have turned on that console and immediately thrown it into a blender because it hurt your feelings way too much. And you know what? I get it. People are toxic. But this is the equivalent of a your mom or a your dad joke. Seriously, exist in the online gaming space for more than 2 seconds without at least somebody saying how they're going to fuck your mother. Just think about it. Just think about that for just a second. The lowest bar of fragility is being able to just handle an online gaming space. And Kaitlin Bennett and her constituents can't even manage that. They can't. But it gets worse, because here, Lil Nas just threatened to rape my dad. Sounds about what I'd expect. So let's think about this for a second. You're Kaitlin Bennett. You are one of the larger political commentators on Twitter, on YouTube, etc. You are the type of person that, for some reason, people respect? I don't know why. I don't know why that would be the case. But it is nonetheless the case. It is nonetheless the reality that we live in of this hellscape. Sean Head was right. We do live in a hell world. So let's go ahead and go into why this is a problem. At no point in a tweet like this, I might fuck your dad, is a lack of consent implied. There is no implication of that. Kaitlin has to pull. She has to literally ass pull the rape out of this conversation in order to get to it. She can't get to it naturally. Again, the lowest bar of internet discourse is just handling online gaming chat rooms, handling the Call of Duty, Halo, League of Legends, Fortnite kids. Caitlyn can't clear that and immediately hides behind the he's threatening to rape my father. Oh no! Okay, so Caitlyn, I understand that context is something that you do not get. You simply cannot fathom. But at no point in this did she actually say that. Now, or at no point did he actually say this. So let's continue the article. She said, Lil Nas has threatened to rape my dad. Sounds about like what I'd expect. Well, why would she expect that? Why would she expect a man who makes music and raps to be a rapist? You and I both know why. I don't need to answer this one, honestly. I don't. Just think bell curve and you'll get closer to the information than you wanted to be. So, the Columbia Bugle then says a sane country would make it illegal for Lil Nas and his handlers to corrupt and destroy America's children. This is satanic panic shit. And again, if you want to be a capitalist, if you want to be okay with marketing, then you should understand when you're being used for the marketing. When your social activism is being abused for the sale of a few sneakers. None of these people understand that. None of these people get that. They are so terrified of the word Satan, of the idea of an imaginary enemy, that they are willing to be free advertisement. So just a couple of months before going full-on satanic and now threatening to rape people's fathers. Oh, really? Is that a thing? You know, you changed the context in the title to save yourself, but you didn't change it here. Oh boy, sure would be awkward if a whole bunch of people on social media were to find this and potentially throw it at some lawyers as a potential defamation argument. That would be, wouldn't it be a shame if that happened? So Lil Nas was celebrating the fact that his base was mostly children during an interview with NPR. He recently wrote a children's book called C is for Country, apparently based off of his hit town, Old Town Road. That wasn't the musician's only attempt to make sure he had a young fan base. Is it his attempt to have a young fan base or his handlers? Because when you are part of the multimedia music industry, you're going to have media managers who are going to check into your PR, check into everything you do, and try to see that your demographic is as good as it can be. Country Road became a meme. And if there's one thing that the internet has taught me, is that the younger you are, the better you respond to memes. And the easier it is for you to understand them very quickly, because it's a part of culture that simply didn't exist for a good majority of the time I was growing up. And I know that it's a thing that people are growing up with now. It makes more sense to them. It makes entirely more sense that a song that turned into a giant meme would also end up with somebody having a younger demographic. In January, NPR reported saying that Lil Nas X says children are his core audience right now, and that's okay. Reaching kids on their level has been a big part of a public persona of Lil Nas X since last year. Last spring, he did an appearance on the Not Too Late Show, singing the theme song with his host, Elmo. Leading into the holidays, he did a virtual performance for the online video game platform Roblox, reminiscent of the Travis Scott Fortnite concert in April. Roblox has a huge younger audience, and the company says Habits users are under 13, and Lil Nas concert alone drew over 30 million visits. So there's a thing here happening as well, okay? And I want you to notice it. This is the thing Kaitlin Bennett is going to try to do. This is a thing that this article's trying to do. And it's a thing that we need to be very cognizant of. It is meshing something somebody does at one point with something they do elsewhere. So, for instance, Country Road. That song, that music video, is perfectly fine for a child audience. There's nothing wrong with that. But Lil Nas grinding on Satan's dick? Maybe not as great for children to see. Maybe that has some connotations that they don't need to be worrying about at 12, 13, 14, younger. So, what happens? We, as adults with functioning brains, would go, well, he's obviously producing content that is for children, and then some content that is not for children. Because, again, we are adults with functioning brains. Just as if there is an actor in Hollywood who does a part for a Pixar movie as a voice actor, but then goes and does a part for a rated R movie with sex scenes, we understand, as functioning adults, that this is an artist who is doing something for children and then doing something for adults. These are two separate ventures with two separate audiences. Apparently, that is not something that people like Kaitlin Bennett and people like Cassandra Fairbanks can understand. And I mean, it comes back to Kaitlin because she's the one retweeting all of this constantly lately. They don't understand that as an artist, you can have different demographics. If I do a video on my channel that is specifically about philosophical arguments for and against a god, which is a thing that I do, who is that for? Well, that's probably for the atheist and religious people in my crowd, the people who come for that content. But if I do a video that is about politics, I'm talking about things like affirmative action, I'm talking about things like hostile architecture. Is that necessarily for that other crowd? Probably not. Some people in that crowd might care about this as well, just like some people might like Country Road and might also like a rapper grinding on Satan's dick. Who knows? But at the end of the day, creating content that is made for two separate audiences is a thing that practically all artists deal with. Think of an anime artist for just a second. Think of an anime artist who draws giant, busty, looted out hentai. Think about this person. Now, what happens if they also draw a little chibi version of a character from let's say just like Teen Titans Go? Or something. They draw a little chibi of a character from there. A show that's mainly targeted at kids. This little chibi is going to appeal to kids. Is this person trying to indoctrinate 12-year-olds who like Teen Titans Go into the magical world of tentacle hentai? Probably not. This is an artist doing two separate things for two separate audiences. But what do you think? Let me know in the comment section below what your opinion of all this is. My opinion is that I don't know exactly how safe this whole thing is from... Oh my god, there's even another part of this. She retweeted Vosh. Bennett is strongly underestimating her dad's willingness to fuck Lil Nas. She says it's nice being hated by all the right people. This guy is a literal pedophile and says child pornography should be legal. Those are not things that Vosh has actually said, but it is neat to see Caitlin Bennett trying to fight Vosh. I'm not going to go into why that's not what he said. This isn't a video dedicated about Vosh, but just know that every single time this stupid thing comes up, it never works out well for the person who's claiming it. So, I don't know. You guys let me know in the comment section below. What do you think? Do you think that Cassandra is fine with the article that she wrote? Do you think that it's perfectly safe and she's not going to be hit with a libel claim at some point? Do you think that Lil Nas is in the right in all this? Do you think what he's saying is, you know, just funny and edgy? Or is it bad? Do you think that he actually meant to say he's going to forcefully sexually assault Caitlin Bennett's father? And what do you think of Caitlin Bennett's place in all this? She is the focal point of this entire conversation, both in instigation and everything else in the way that the article's written, from the perspective of somebody trying to stand her, from her retweeting this, all that stuff. So you let me know. Go ahead and let me know in the comment section below what you think. I'm going to also go ahead and say that if you are watching this and you have not gone and followed me over on Twitch yet, I would highly ask that you do. I wouldn't say recommend because I don't know how much of that I can recommend. But speaking of creating content for different people, for different platforms, I am streaming more often over on Twitch, doing video game streams, trying to do stuff with other VTubers. So if that is a thing that you want to see and you would enjoy, please go follow me over at Twitch. There's a link in the description. And as always, everyone, thank you for watching. Thank you for supporting what I do. And insert into video tagline here.